from the Cronkite Studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
A long-awaited announcement triggers a new political fight in the nation's capital. Hear from Arizona's delegation on the Supreme Court nominee.
People can 3D print everything from cars to ears, but one study shows a strong downside, how the printers may pose a risk to your health.
Everything we had, me and my wife lost it all. Every bit of it. Not a memento, nothing. I lost it all.
Hear the story of one man's journey to justice.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Zach Potlett.
And I'm Amber Kouadji. Thanks for joining us. President Obama announced his nominee to replace Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia early this morning.
The president appointed Judge Merrick Garland, citing his dedication and reputation.
To find someone with such a long career of public service, marked by complex and sensitive issues, to find someone who just about everyone not only respects but genuinely likes, that is rare.
This is the greatest honor of my life, other than Lynn agreeing to marry me 28 years ago.
Law degree from Harvard and is currently serving as the chief judge of the U.S. Court of Appeals in the D.C. Circuit, where he has served for 19 years. Garland received Republican support in his appointment to the appeals court. Arizona Senator Jeff Flake says he spoke with the president today about the nomination. Flake told Cronkite News, quote, "I do think Republicans have a defensible position not to consider a nominee. But if it comes to a lame duck and we've lost the election and my choice is between Garland and a likely more liberal nominee by President Clinton, I choose Garland." And Senator John McCain says he opposes moving on a Supreme Court nominee now, but had voted for Garland as a federal circuit court judge. In a statement, he wrote, "This is not a matter of qualifications of the individual. This is a matter of whether the American people will have a voice in the selection of the next nominee, just as Vice President Joe Biden argued on the floor of the Senate several years ago. I'm with Joe Biden."
The next Supreme Court justice will be able to impact our country for years to come, but the timing of the pick also has an impact on this year's election.
Cronkite News reporter Ben Marjat found out how Obama's nomination could influence the Arizona primary.
With just under a week until our state's presidential primary election, voters here in Arizona have one more thing to consider before casting their ballots on Tuesday.
I didn't think the president should send anybody up now, because it's not going to happen. It's just more division. Now we have more fighting, more fighting, more fighting.
Reactions were swift from presidential hopefuls this morning after President Obama announced his pick for the open Supreme Court seat. And with Arizona's primary right around the corner, how candidates side on the issue could be a factor for voters in the state.
If the Republicans stick to their guns and refuse to even talk to him or have a hearing, I think a lot of people will think badly of them for that, because he is so clearly a good candidate, so it might hurt them politically.
But Wes Gollett, a former campaign manager for Senator John McCain, said it might not matter in such a conservative state.
Arizona typically is a red state, and it's dark red. So I would think that by and large, the people of Arizona are going to be supporting having the next president do the appointment.
While Trump agreed with the Republicans that the president-elect should make the pick, Senator Ted Cruz, who desperately needs to win delegates here on Tuesday, used it as a chance to attack Trump, saying in a statement, "Merrick Garland is exactly the type of Supreme Court nominee you get when you make deals in Washington, D.C. We cannot afford to lose the Supreme Court for generations to come by nominating or confirming someone that a dealmaker like Donald Trump would support." But both experts said the process has become so politicized that the nominee wouldn't have mattered.
I think that the president could have picked John Marshall and he wouldn't get confirmed.
Both Democratic candidates, Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, had high praise for Merrick Garland, saying that the Senate should do its duty and confirm him. In Phoenix, Ben Marjat, Cronkite News.
After pulling an unexpected victory in Michigan, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders lost to Hillary Clinton yesterday in Florida, North Carolina, Illinois, and Ohio, but tied with the state secretary in Missouri. But even as the results were coming in, he still managed to rally a cheerful and energetic crowd here in Phoenix. Cronkite News reporter Z Zhang attended the event and spoke with Sanders supporters.
Those at the rally were very excited, energetic, and loud, all there to support the self-proclaimed democratic socialist. Supporters stood for hours in a crowded space to hear Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders speak for the last time before Arizona primary. Many young and passionate.
He's able to get out to this young crowd and say, this is why you're struggling. I see why you're struggling, and I'm going to point it out. And a lot of people don't really value young people's opinion. They don't really see the strength, what could come of, supporting young people, and he does.
Phoenix, are you ready for a political revolution?
The revolution that Sanders speaks about often includes topics like raising the minimum wage, reforming campaign finance, and the immigration system. His young supporters say these issues connect with them deeply.
The economy, breaking up Wall Street, that is very important. Also, getting money out of politics is extremely important.
However, to those in college, nothing is more appealing than his advocacy for making public university tuition free.
I'm blessed to have a family that can afford to send me to college, but not everyone is so lucky.
According to reports released by the Census Bureau, voter turnout of young adults has declined since 1964. But in this election cycle, polls show he has captured a disproportionate share of young votes, while Hillary Clinton is favored by older voters.
We tell young people, you got to go out and get the best education you can for yourselves, for the country, and yet millions of our people are $30,000, $50,000 in debt because they got an education. That's crazy.
After winning in delegate-heavy states like Florida, Hillary Clinton now has a comfortable lead in the election, but Sanders' campaign says he has a long-range strategy that would allow him to regain momentum later in the election. Live in the media center, I'm Z-Zone, Cronkite News.
Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton is set to run Spanish language campaign ads in Arizona.
My personal heroes right there.
Her new television ad features Hispanic civil rights activist and labor leader Dolores Huerta. She compares herself to Huerta, claiming she too has been in a lifetime of a fight. Clinton will also be airing a Spanish language radio ad featuring Congressman Ruben Gallego, talking about her plans for education and how she stacks up against potential Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump. Cronkite News will have extensive coverage of the presidential preference election next Tuesday. Following our regular 5 o'clock newscast, we'll continue tracking the results and bring you a live special edition of Cronkite News at 11.
The Phoenix VA is looking to remove 3 of the top executives in Phoenix following recent scandals. Brad Curry, Lance Robinson, and Dr. Darren Deering are now trying to appeal their proposed removal from the VA. The appeal process for Curry and Robinson could take over a year, but for now, the 3 will still work and get paid for the next 30 days. Representative Ann Kirkpatrick weighed in on this issue, stating the problem requires much more than just firing people. It's the system itself that's failed our veterans. We really can't resist until we get it fixed.
Shows like Making a Murder and the podcast Serial have been hugely popular all over mainstream media. But investigative reporter Jesse Schultz caught up with one Arizona man whose story of justice is all too similar.
I'm here in front of the Maricopa County Superior Court, where every day behind those doors, people are charged and convicted of crimes. But what happened when the crime they're convicted of, they didn't actually do? On Sundays, Drayton and Maria Witt like to take their daughter, Ellie Mae Justice, to the park. But just a few short years ago, this wouldn't have been possible. At 18, Drayton Witt was sent to prison for second-degree murder, allegedly for shaking their 4-month-old son, Steven, to death.
I was 18 when my son passed away. I just hid in a hole, and I tried not to come out of it. And then the police came knocking at my door.
Drayton maintained his innocence.
I wasn't going to take a plea. I took it to trial, I lost. I was given 20 years flat.
Maria stood by him. The two even got married in prison.
The fact that he was now getting charged for the death of something that he loved, I wouldn't walk away from that. And I wanted to stand by his side. I wanted to do that time with him.
Behind bars, Drayton wrote the Arizona Justice Project.
You didn't have to read Drayton's file several times to figure out that this was just crazy.
Randy Papetti was an attorney on Drayton's case. He argued that Stephen had been sick from birth and died of natural causes.
He'd been having seizures and hospital stays, and for them to ignore all that and say, nope, we can tell he was shaken, it didn't even make any sense.
In 2012, he was exonerated of his charges. 12 years after going in. Since the project's start, it has received 5,000 requests for help. It's been successful in 24 cases, and last year alone, it received 350 letters for case review.
The government is so strong and really can overwhelm the little guy that those people need somebody fighting for them, especially when they didn't do the crime that they're accused of.
One of the problems in this area is the state, in my view, is overly reluctant to admit past mistakes.
Khalil Rashidon was also wrongfully convicted. His charge was felony murder.
You could either lay down on this conviction, or you can keep fighting.
After serving 15 and a half years, the Justice Project took on his case and he was released in 2011. Arizona is one of 20 states that doesn't give compensation to the wrongfully convicted. Drayton and Rashidon didn't get a dime.
It was really hard to re-enter back into society.
Everything we had, me and my wife lost it all. Every bit of it. Not a memento, nothing. I lost it all.
Maria says she's still angry about their lost years.
It's hard for me. It's really hard for me.
Despite what happened, Drayton and Maria said they feel lucky.
The fact that I'm out of prison, I go to work every day, I come home to a beautiful daughter. I mean, life's good for me.
The Maricopa County Attorney's Office did not want to comment on the Witt case, but they did tell me they consider it a dismissal rather than a full exoneration. With the investigative team, Jesse Schultz, Cronkite News.
Today marks Donate Life Day at the Capitol, where stories from donors and recipients are showcased.
Coming up on Cronkite News.
Find out how lives lost have transformed into lives saved.
And 3D printing has been hailed as an innovation in everything from medicine to manufacturing. Now, new concerns about how it could affect your health.
We are here tonight to explore tough issues.
You've got to have people around you who aren't just laying rose petals in front of your way. And I kid you not, this is true.
Trust is everything.
This has been so much fun.
It's about reaching people.
There are more players on the world stage. The issues are more complex.
We ask the questions that take us closer to the truth.
What happened and what might happen.
Because that's what we do.
Would you like doing something like I do?
I couldn't do this. I'm not qualified. I was thinking exactly the same thing.
The Capitol lawn is being called the Garden of Life today. Reporter Sydney Glenn finds out what that is and who is being celebrated.
Donated a kidney to me, but he also saved 5 other people's lives. So he's my hero.
Today is dedicated to remembering the lives lost and the ones saved by organ donation. The Garden of Life showcases quotes, photos, and special quilts that celebrate the passions of those who died.
We have, guitars on some of them, or fishing poles, or sports teams, or anything you can think of that family feels really celebrates their loved one.
Only about 5% of donors' families and recipients will ever meet. Mark Larson is happy to be one of the few.
When I recovered from my surgery, I wrote a letter to his family, and I told him what it meant to me to get my life back.
Larson and his donor's mother met right here at a Donate Life Day.
I wanted to know that she's always in my heart.
Emotions are high for the families that give life to others as they say goodbye to a loved one.
I meet families who, in their worst moment, in a moment when they have every right to be selfish and bitter because they've just lost a loved one, they make a decision thinking of other people.
It's made all the difference in my life to be able to travel, to have my life free again.
Sometimes a tragedy can give someone a second or even third chance. In Phoenix, Sydney Glenn, Cronkite News.
According to the Donor Network of Arizona, there are more than 2.7 million registered organ, eye, and tissue donors here in Arizona.
3D printing has opened a world of possibilities. They're being used in schools and businesses across Arizona. However, reporter Ben Brown tells us how it might also damage your health.
These aren't minor health problems we're talking about either. A recent study shows that certain plastics used in 3D printing release emissions that could lead to cancer, heart problems, and other serious issues.
Local Motors, an Arizona-based manufacturing company, works with 3D printers daily, even building a 3D printed car.
3D printing allows us to do something we've never done in the past, which is build something quickly and then grind it up, recycle it, and do it again and again and again.
But like with all new technology, complications tend to surface, and this one could have serious health implications. The problem comes with the process.
So you're taking plastic, you're melting it, extruding it out a little nozzle, and it just builds up one layer at a time.
That melting process can emit toxins. A study conducted by researchers from the Illinois Institute of Technology and other universities found that certain plastics, such as ABS, can emit human carcinogens.
We've actually had the hygienists come in and validate that what we smell is not a toxic chemical, but it's like a perfume. The hard part is, for a home use, you don't have that advantage.
And that is another concern. With 3D printers becoming more affordable, it's common to find them in homes or schools. But despite the study, Rayer says he wouldn't shy away from 3D printers.
Honestly, I don't think I would caution anybody from buying a 3D printer. The key is understanding what you're doing.
According to researchers, there is no evidence to suggest a design or make of a printer plays a factor. So whether it's a large manufacturing 3D printer or a small one used at home, caution should be used when 3D printing.
The study's authors also found nylon filament releases a toxin that can cause neurologic, stomach, and heart conditions. And one way to limit these toxic emissions is to use biodegradable PLA plastic. Ben Brown, Cronkite News.
Gridlock in the nation's capital hit a new milestone today.
It's the first day in history. The entire subway system was shut down for emergency repairs.
I'm actually ran in, so it was a little bit of a disruption, but we were making it work.
Coming up on Cronkite News, we catch up with Arizonans like Congresswoman Martha McSally, caught up in the shutdown.
The true measure of all our actions is how long the good in them lasts.
This is who I am, where I'm from.
If you're on the right side of history, you can accomplish anything.
It's a connection between your present and your past.
Come this way. This is good. This is very good.
We are attempting to fulfill the promise of America.
The stories about who we are shape us.
This chance to go through a time machine.
Good heavenly days.
We should know our history.
It informs, but it doesn't constrict you.
It's a framework to carry out human activity. The sky is the limit.
It started a long time ago.
For only the third time in the award's 74-year history, a Phoenix-based news operation wins the prestigious Alfred I. DuPont Columbia Award for Excellence in Broadcast Journalism. And this year, that news operation is Cronkite News, the news division of Arizona PBS, honored for its work on the groundbreaking documentary, Hooked, Tracking Heroin's Hold on Arizona. Cronkite News at Arizona PBS, award-winning journalism you can count on from the station you trust.
A demonstration held in Mesa this morning displayed new safe baby havens inside the city's emergency response vehicles. The move comes after baby Jane was found abandoned in the front yard of a Phoenix home. Now mothers who are unable to care for their newborn babies will be able to drop them off in any Mesa emergency vehicle displaying safe baby haven stickers and magnets. As long as it's within 72 hours after birth, there will be no legal consequences.
A 3-mile extension to the light rail in Northwest Phoenix will open on Saturday, with services starting at 10 a.m. The extension will create 3 new stations along 19th Avenue. This is not the last expansion Valley Metro is planning. Over the next 2 decades, at least a half-dozen more extensions are planned. Phoenix officials hope to reach 66 miles of light rail track by 2034.
For some in Washington, D.C., it was like a snow day, but with 70-degree weather. That's because the city's metro system shut down its doors, impacting several commutes. Cronkite reporter Lauren Clark in our Washington bureau has more.
The escalator hums, but the hundreds of feet that ride each day are nowhere to be seen. You can hear the screech of the Metro brakes, but it isn't carrying any passengers. The Washington Metro system shut down today, throwing the DC commute into an uproar.
Well, I am right here, so it's not a problem.
But that wasn't everyone's experience.
It's an unprecedented move for the Washington Metro system that's never fully closed its doors like this for any other reason aside from weather concerns. But for those who take this Metro day in and day out, their daily commute was heavily affected, including the ones who work in the Arizona Capitol office buildings.
Staffers wouldn't appear on camera, but they were full of stories about their rough mornings. Some braved bumper-to-bumper traffic or forked over $100 for an Uber. Others hiked 5 miles into the office. One office even gave its interns the day off. The reason behind the closing? Safety concerns. A sparking of wire looked all too familiar to a problem that killed one woman on the Metro a year ago. Now, the system isn't taking any chances. And neither was one of McSally's staffers. Although one was out of breath, he did end up making it to work on time.
And one of them actually ran in, so it was a little bit of a disruption, but we were making it work.
Lauren Clark, Cronkite News.
But despite the problems today, the Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority says they will be open tomorrow.
People with disabilities tend to struggle to find a job.
Coming up on Cronkite News, how one Valley company is fixing this.
When I was 12 years old, I was watching great performances on PBS. This program with Nureyev came on. Nureyev in a performance of Le Corsaire, and I was amazed and awestruck. I really wanted to do it. I was street dancing at the time, and I never thought of formal dance until I saw great performances. I knew that I was really a novice to dance, like high dance. I decided to check out the High School Performing Arts. And so one thing led to the next. Today, as a recognized dancer, I absolutely believe that when I saw the performance, it affected me tremendously. And I know that's what happens when I teach. I'm opening an option for them that they hadn't seen before.
A Valley startup company is changing the lives of people with disabilities.
As Cronkite News reporter Kendall Bartley found out, they're not a charity, they're providing jobs.
Aquasac currently employs 6 people with disabilities, and the founder hopes to hire even more. I was able to speak with one employee to see how his experience has changed his life.
We're all the same. No one should make fun of us or just put us aside.
Andrew Lascarine is a production associate at Aquasac, but his boss has another title for him.
Andrew's our rock star.
Misunderstood and underutilized is how founder of Aquasac, Liesl Harderkelp, describes the workforce for people with disabilities.
There are challenges, but they're not insurmountable. It's just we want to be the beacon, the pilot program that shows other companies how to do it.
Lascarine is proof that these challenges aren't holding back businesses. Nationwide, only about 17% of people with disabilities have jobs, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics.
It makes me feel like no one cares when they should.
Each person with disabilities works alongside a buddy without disabilities to assist them throughout production. Jobs include filling the Aquasacs, capping, labeling, and boxing.
Really, once we realized it was a one-to-one, there weren't challenges. It was just a matter of the repetition of doing the work and just keeping with them.
Because of Aquasac, Lascarrain has changed the way he sees his future.
I write stories and I hope to be a cartoonist.
Harder Kelp hopes to influence other businesses with her motto.
We call it inclusion, awareness, and education. It's an awareness that these people exist and that they have value, and then educating on how to work with them so that everybody is in a win-win situation.
Currently, the only store selling Aquasac is local Sprouts stores, but founder Liesl Harder Kelp has reached out to other businesses like Walmart and is hoping to expand her business nationwide. I'm Kendall Bartley, Cronkite News.
Cronkite News is proud to be the news division of Arizona PBS.
Here's what's coming up on Arizona Horizon and PBS NewsHour.
On the next Arizona Horizon, the governor signs a bill that prohibits cities from banning plastic bags. That and more in our legislative update. And we'll hear about the Arizona Republic's new all-purpose real estate website.
I'm Gwen Eiffel. On the next NewsHour, we look at the road ahead for the Democratic and Republican presidential candidates after today's voting. That's Wednesday on the PBS NewsHour.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.